Okay, hi guys. Let's just quickly get the recap of the trades which I have taken this week. Especially, let's start from Monday. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, so this is Monday. You can see Nasdaq, and we can see Monday didn't took out Friday's high or Friday's low before going into the third quarter, which is this 9 o'clock to 10:30. All right. So, do we have any sort of session sweep? Okay, this is the London session. London session has swept above here. We don't have to watch the London session. Let's go to the New York session. In New York, New York has swept the high of London here. All right, around this time, 7:15. And in Dow, we can see this is the New York session. What Dow has done is it has also swept the high of this London high. So there is no Kraken correlation with regards to the session liquidity. So we wait. So after waiting, what do we see? All right. This is what? This is London's low. It's swept out by the Dow at 9:30. Now if you go here, this is the 9:30 candle. And this is the session low of what? This is the session low of that London session. Here, Dow, sorry, Nasdaq didn't do it. But my trade was a little bit before this one. To get to the trade, let's go to the 5 minute time frame. Let's get inside this quarter, which is 9:30, 9 to 10:30. So between 9 to 10:30, what happens is, see, this is the previous quarter, and this is the uh, ongoing quarter. So we didn't have anything in here, but when you go to the Dow, here you'll see something which you don't see in Nasdaq. Wait, where is the trade? Wait, just hang on a second now. Let me just figure it out. Where did I take the trade? Okay, okay, okay. We had done this. It's 9:25. All right. So, can you see something? This quarter, this 7:30 to 9 o'clock. The low of the quarter is this. All right. This is the low of the quarter. All right. So, this low has been penetrated by 9:15 candle from Dow. Dow has penetrated the candle. Sorry, this candle 9:15 candle has penetrated the London low. Sorry, not London low, the previous session low. All right, now go to Nasdaq and check this 9:15 candle. Okay, this quarter low is here. This candle is the low of the quarter. All right, now let's go to the 9:15 candle. This is the 9:15 candle. All right, so here we have a cracking correlation on the 90-minute cycle. Okay, this is the 90-minute cycle. At 9:15 it didn't breach the low of it. Okay, so we what is the next step for us? The next step for us is to wait for the green candle. At 9:20 we get the green candle. See, this is the green candle, and the liquidity which we are targeting is this. Well, almost this. All right, this is the buy side liquidity. Let me mark it like this. Okay, now after this candle, 9:20 candle, we need to go onto the micro time frame and check if we have any that lower time frame uh, session. Sorry, if we have a 1 minute Kraken correlation SSMT, right? So when we went there at 9:20, just give me a second. Let me go here also. Here we have this Kraken correlation between 9:18 to 9:28. See this 9:18 to 9:28. Sorry, not this. This. Okay, 9 o'clock to 9:23. This is the Kraken correlation on the 1 minute time frame. This is the Kraken correlation on the 5 minute time frame. And we have taken the trade around here. So stop loss was this, and my target was this. So what happened? It went above till here, and after that it goes down to hit our stop loss. Well, this was the first trade of Monday, and which was not that good of a trade because obviously it was not clean. So this is kind of a mistake which I had just did. And so what I did, I waited for a little while to see if I can get a better trade. So let me show you the next trade which I took. All right, so here it is. On 9:30 candle, we have Dow has broken down the low of the London session, creating a sequential SMT. All right. So after creating a sequential SMT, what we look for? Either we look for a PSP or we look for a green candle, right? Is this a PSP? 9:30 candle. See, NQ is a red candle and Dow is also a red candle. So when the green candle has appeared at 10:15, a green candle has appeared. Here it is already gone. Nasdaq is already gone up. It is showing that basically Nasdaq was showing the strength. Simple as that. So since Nasdaq has already gone up, shorten up, I went to see S&P to check if there is something going on in that or not. 9:30 Monday. Okay. Hmm. So see, this was the London low. This was the 9:30 candle. Okay. And this was not being breached. So 10:15 candle was this one. This now this candle has you know told me that S&P now is ready to go up. All right. So this is a 15-minute sequential SMT. So after 15-minute sequential SMT, what we are looking for? We are looking for a 5-minute sequential SMT. So let's go to the 5-minute time frame. Similarly, go here, 5 minutes. Now see if there is any crack in correlation for us. Okay. Between green and red, blue. Let me just quickly check here. Yeah, you can see the crack in correlation in the 5-minute time frame. You can see this is downside and this is upside. So after 10:15, market has engineered and liquidity. You can see here very clearly. This engineered liquidity was clearly formed by market, showing its mood to go up just by retracing. So when you pull down a fib from here to here, you can see price wants to come to the discount, and then it wants to target these equal highs. So inside the discount, you can clearly see this, a fair value gap. All right, let me just delete this. So when price came into this fair value gap, I took an entry here. My stop loss was all the way down to the low of the swing, and I was targeting these equal highs. So my RR was not much. It's like 1 is to 1.26, and that was my winning trade. Basically, this trade has compensated my previous loss. And yeah, pretty much that was actually the proper trade which needs to be taken on Monday. But I was a little bit impatient and took the wrong entry and get an stop loss there. So yeah, this was the proper trade which need to be taken on Monday. So yeah, this was what actually Monday offered. Now let's move on to Tuesday. Okay, so we are on Tuesday. On initially, let's just go directly to the Q3 quarter. Since there was no red folder day, it was not a red folder day. So what happens? We only trade when there is no red folder day. We only trade after like 9 o'clock EST. So after before 9 o'clock, there was no cracking correlation on the daily or the weekly. All right. So when there is no correlation on the daily or the weekly, we go down to the 90-minute cycle. All right. So what we see on the 90-minute cycle is this. Well, initially there was a little chop inside this quarter, that 9 to 10:30 quarter. So we waited for a clean crack in correlation, and a clean crack in correlation happened in the fourth quarter, which is this. You can clearly see this. See the high of this, and see the high of this quarter. And the same thing you can see in Dow. This is the high of this quarter. That's the crack. If you want to see ES as well, you can see the same thing in ES as well. You can see this, right? So when did the high of the ES and YM has taken place? Check this candle, 10:45. And what is the high of this quarter? The high of this quarter is this. 10:45 candle is red candle in ES and Nasdaq. But in Dow, you will see something nice. See this 10:40, even wait, just hang on a second. Anyways, this 10:45 candle is red. This 10:45 candle is red. It is above the previous session's previous quarter high, which is this. Now we are bound to go down. Why is that? Why I'm telling you this? Because we have a crack in correlation on a 5-minute time frame, which is a 90-minute cycle. Now we are trying to get a crack in correlation on the lower time frames as well, which is 1 minute. Now you can see here. See this. You can see the crack in correlation in Dow. It has clearly breached the high of this. And in NQ, go to the lower time frames. You can clearly see this high and this high. It is low. So our entry was around this. Stop loss was here, just 22 points, not much. And actually I was taking not much. I was taking just 1:1. My stop loss was just below this candle. So this was a winning trade I was only taking 1 is to 1.53. The reason I'm taking just slow, the short RR, this only because we don't have any red folder day today. We don't have any news today, which is Tuesday. And whenever this happens, market is a little bit choppy and there is not much of liquidity injection in the market. So this RR for me would be suffice. But see what happened. Market went down all the way beautifully. This could be a very beautiful trade, but it is what it is. This was a winning day, Tuesday, and today is Wednesday. We will update you accordingly. Thank you. Okay, all right, guys. So this is Wednesday. Let's discuss the trades of Wednesday. Let me just open Nasdaq quickly. And here, let me just open this VM, which is Dow. Okay, so quickly move on to the 15-minute time frame. Same here. Okay, quickly delete all the drawings here as well. Okay, so what we have seen here is this is London's low, all right, and in YM this is London's low. You can see that in the New York session, Dow has did the sweep of London, but NQ didn't, which is daily cracking correlation, daily SMT. Okay, so this is one. Now what we have to do is that we have to wait for 5-minute SMT to confirm this crash. But if you observe carefully, you can see this candle, 715 candle is red, and NQ 715 candle is green, as well as in ES it is green. That means what? It's a PSP. All right. So when we have a PSP, either you can take the trade all together here only. For example, let me just show you. There is one possibility that you can take the trade on over the close of the PSP, taking the stop loss either just below the PSP or just below that previous low, previous swing low, and target 1 is to 2, 1 is to 3, whatever you like. Which is not the right approach to do just because the PSP do not take the trade. Always wait for the second level. Now, but since we have a PSP, you don't need to wait for 5 minute, 90-minute cycle. I mean the cycle just below it. We do not wait for the just lower cycle. We can just skip that particular cycle and can go to much lower cycle than that. Like for example, below the daily SSMT or below the daily cycle, we have a 90-minute cycle. And below the 90-minute cycle, we have micro cycle. So we can directly switch from 90-minute cycle to the micro cycle, which is 1 minute SSMT. But even in this whole scenario, we didn't find any 1 minute SSMT to make, I mean, to, confirm that price will go higher. Price is willing to go higher. So we didn't find any trade towards the news. Although this crack in correlation with NQ as and the YM, the Dow, has told us, along with the PSP, has told us that price is willing to go higher. And that's why the news delivered higher. Anyway, let's move toward trade. So after that, let's go towards the Q3 of New York session, which is the main deal for us. Let's move to the 5-minute time frame. Okay, so till here we do not find any crack in correlation with YM, with ES, and with NQ. But here, see this. See this high, 9 o'clock, the high of Q3. What is the high of Q3? The high of Q3 is this candle, 1025 candle. Let me mark this one. Similarly, in NQ, what is the high of this? This is the high of this. Also, in ES, similarly in ES, what is the high of Q3? The high of Q3 is this. Okay, so we have the high of ES, we have the high of NQ, we have the high of YM. So when did the high was taken out? The high of this Q3 quarter was taken by the 10/30th candle of Q4 quarter of New York session AM. All right. So 10:30 we have taken down the previous quarter, and in but in ES we didn't. Finally, at 10:35 we have a red candle. At 10:35 we have a red candle. So we have a cracking correlation here on 90-minute. Okay. Now we have to find another cracking correlation which is going to happen in 1 minute. So let's go to 1 minute quickly. So between this 1 minute session, sorry, between this 1 minute quarter and this 1 minute quarter, we can see that this high of this particular quarter is this. It's clearly taken out by the next quarter, by the next quarter. So, but in ES, you can see the high of this quarter is this, which is not taken out by the high of this quarter. So we have a double confirmation. By this detail, by this information, we have taken a trade around this level. I mean, around this area. Yeah, I vividly remember that. Stop loss was this. And my target was at least this fair value gap. We have came down a little bit. Like for example, we have came down like around 1.5 RR, but then we reversed, which is and stop loss. So we basically have a stop loss today in this particular trade. We got something here, but eventually our stop loss got triggered. So that was a trade for Wednesday, but a more high probable trade came in the New York afternoon session. Wait, let me show you that also. I'll quickly remove the drawings here. Go to the 15-minute time frame. Go to ES or take YM actually, because it has done that. And what else? Let me just check ES as well. Yep. Now 15-minute on NQ. We'll mark it quickly. Okay. So what do you see? Now, did the New York PM session did any sort of SSMT? Nope. What about this? Nope. What about this? Do you see something? Yes, you see something. So basically, it's a hidden SMT. The highest close of this quarter is this. And now, at 1 o'clock, after the closing of 1 o'clock 15-minute candle, we have basically have a hidden SMT. But in NQ, we don't. Similarly, in ES, we didn't. So we have a daily cracking correlation. So now go to the 5 minute to check if there is a confirmed SSMT. So let's just see. Let us wait for our quarters to load. And there you go. Can you see this? The high of this session, sorry, the high of this quarter is taken out by this quarter and YM. But in NQ or in QM, We can take QM as well, no issues. The high of this quarter, 90 minutes cycle, didn't take on out by this quarter. So we can take a trade here also. Like for example, at what time YM has taken it? Around 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Let me just go and check 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Yeah, there you go. The first trade candle. We can take the trade at the first trade candle. Our stop loss would be around here. Target would be at least this liquidity is our target. Or the second target would be like this. But we have taken the trade in NQ. I mean, we didn't take, but we were just observing. So yeah, pretty much that. We have a crack on daily with YM, and on 5 minute again we have a crack. This is the highest point of the previous quarter. This is the 1 o'clock candle. This is the first red candle. Take a trade here. Put the stop loss here. Take a target at least 1 to 1, which is already met. For better, I would say, for better trade, you can take the stop loss at least in the, wait, let me just tell you where should we put the stop loss. See, we are above the discount. All right. So whenever we are above the discount, take the quarter, the half quarter. Wait, by half quarter, I mean take the midpoint of this particular quarter, which is take another Feb from here to here, and this would be our midpoint, which is the quadrant. You can also call it a quadrant if you like. So pretty much this could be our stop loss, and there would be an easy 1:2, 1:3 target. 1:2 was easily manageable here. So what I am like what is in my mind is like it can come through at least. I mean, it can take this liquidity, but let's be a little more realistic and take at least 1:2. Since it's an afternoon session, price can reverse in time. So yeah, that would be the better trade to take today. But these are the things we actually try to learn and get better from time to time. Let's see, like now my next approach would be like whenever I see a 15-minute and 5 minute crack in the next upcoming days, I'll try to focus more upon that and rather than the 5 minute. But even if the 5 minute presents itself, the 5 minute and the 1 minute SSMTs, two level SSMTs presents themselves in the quarter which we actually aiming upon. So I would like to take the trades on those. I would not like, I would not be like, oh my god, it's like only 5 minute SSMT and only 1 minute SSMT. I should not take the trade. I mean, it's fine. I can take the trade. It's not a big deal. But if 15-minute crack along with the 5 minute crack, that would be much better. I mean, obviously, the higher the time frame, the better the probability. So yeah, pretty much for Wednesday. Let's see. Let's see you guys tomorrow. Okay, guys, let's start with the Thursday trades. Okay, let me just quickly see Nasdaq. Just remove this one, and yeah, this is Thursday. Okay, and yeah, so we can see that before starting of New York session, what price was doing. Price has cleared the lows of the London has cleared the lows of Asia in Nasdaq. What about Dow? Dow has, I guess, did the same thing. So let me just remove everything for better understanding. So just a second. Let me just change the time zone. There you go. Also, Dow has swept the low of Asia. London has swept the low of Asia. And now what next? You can see that New York AM, which starts at 6 a.m., has swept the low of London. All right. What about Nasdaq? It didn't do it. All right. This is the low of London. Let me just mark it. See this low of see the low 21,713.25. What's the low of this? 21,714, which is higher than this. So it didn't sweep the low. All right. Let me mark this like that. Okay. Now let's go to 5 minutes. We have one cracking correlation, which is New York AM has swept below London in Dow, but in Nasdaq it didn't. So we wait for the second cycle, the lower cycle confirmation, which is 90-minute cycle. Let's see what happened in the 90-minute cycle. Okay. So what do you see here? Similarly, here, what do you see here? Well, we can see between 6 to 7:30 and 7:30 to 9 o'clock, we have the lowest low of this and this. We have a it swept the second quarter of New York session has swept or broke the low of the first quarter of New York AM session. All right, let's go into the Dow. Well, those who don't know quarterly theory might be having a hard time to understand this because it's something unusual which I'm using here. So yeah, it's for my own understanding. Whatever videos which I'm making right now, it's for my own journaling and nothing. It is not related for others to understand. Okay, it's not like that. All right, let's go. What does we have here which we don't? Yeah. Last I remember we had a hidden SMT. We had a hidden SMT here. See, this is a low. Let me just mark it. Can you see this? Even it breaks the low of this, showing the same behavior as NQ, but it's not exactly the same. See, the lowest low of this quarter, the first quarter of New York AM session is broken down and closed below by the next quarter, the second quarter of New York AM session. But this information is not particularly right. Let me show you on the proper futures chart. Let me go to the 5 minute time frame and let me show you what Dow has actually done here. See this, see the timing. 6:20 and 6:25 is the lowest close of first quarter of New York AM session. All right, 6:20 and 6:25. See the timings. Now go here. This is 6:20 and this is 6:25. Mark the closing of these candles. Now, can you see something? What do you see? Here, see this candle, 7:35. According to this 7:35 candle, it closes below the lowest close of the previous quarter, which makes it exactly the same as NQ. But this information is falsified. When you see here, this candle 7:35, this one is closed below the lowest close of the previous session, sorry, quarter. But here 7:35, look at this, it closed above, and that's the right data. So this is a 90-minute hidden SMT. Well, when that happened, I placed a trade in NQ around here. Well, not exactly here, a little, a little around here. My stop loss was a few pips below this low, and my target was, well, I was targeting approximate this trend line liquidity. Can you see this? I was targeting this trend line liquidity, which is here. My approach was right, but but I was a bit, but I was scared by this down move by Nasdaq. It didn't hit my stop loss, but I became a little bit skeptical because what happens in S&P, it breaks below. Let me just show you S&P's chart as well. Well, here it didn't show it like that. My God, this is weird. This is the daily cycle. This is a 90-minute cycle, and it didn't broke here. But see here, see what it did here. See this 9:30 candle. Sorry, news candle 8:30. It did broke below the London slow, but here, see this candle. See my cursor. Oh, this is weird, man. This is weird. This might be a broker issue, but anyway, we are in this trade. We were in this trade. Let me just tell you again. We were in this trade, but I cut my trade to break even approximate like in minor profit, but I was scared because I want I didn't want I was not expecting this particular wick going down all the way till here. I was not expecting that. When that happened, even though my stop loss was intact, but this wasn't cool for me to hold upon. So I cut it around here, and I waited for my next trade. So this was the first trade which I have took. I closed up in the profits, but the trade was not up to the mark for me. Okay, so all right, then see what happened. Let's go back. Okay, yeah, here. So what we had is we have a daily SSMT here, and we have a daily SSMT here. Okay, now New York AM session has broken down the low of this London session. What is the high of London session? This is the high of London session. All right. In Dow, what is the high of London session? This is the high of London session. Okay. Now, when did we broke the London session? Within the same session. And what does that make? It makes the magneto effect. What is the magneto effect? Magneto effect signifies that whenever a low and a high of a previous session is broken down, taken down by the very next session, which is exactly like here. The low of London session taken down by the New York AM session, and the high of London session taken out by the New York AM session as well. So it's creating a magneto effect. So what we have here is 15-minute. We have 15-minute break of London's high, basically daily cycle. Uh, Thursday we have broken down by 10-15 candle. The high of the London is broken down by 10-15 candle. Let's see what is happening on this. All right. So basically, we have taken the Nasdaq, the high of the London session in Nasdaq at 9 o'clock only. Now see what is happening on Dow at 9 o'clock. Do you see this? 9 o'clock. That's a Kraken correlation. And now see the color of this candle, 9 o'clock. It's a green candle, okay? And YM is red candle, making it a PSP, precision swing point. Now, now we have a precision swing point. What else we are here to see? Since we have a daily precision swing point, we will skip the next 90-minute cycle for confirmation of the SSMT. We can directly skip to the microcycles, which is 1 minute. Let's go to 1 minute and see what happens. Well, be seems a lot of people might not understand this because it's not meant for them. It's meant for myself, my own journaling, and nothing else. See here, there's a 9 o'clock candle. Let me just take it here quickly as well. There's a 9 o'clock candle as well. Now we have this 9 o'clock till 9:23. We have this one micro quarter. The high of the micro quarter is this. See this? Highest close. The high is this. That is a separate thing. But the highest close is this. Now come in NASDAQ and check what's happening here. The high is this. Highest close is this. And the high is this. Alright. I'll tell you what I did, and what I should be doing in this. I'll tell you my mistake. First of all, what I tell you, what should be done by myself to make this trade a profitable one. So yeah, this session, this quarter is this, and the gray one. And let's move to the next quarter. What 9:30 candle is done, it closed above the highest close of the previous quarter. See 9:30 candle. Now go to the YM. See what 9:30 candles has to offer. Do you see this 9:30 candle? It didn't close above the highest high of the previous session, 1 minute session. Okay, that that in itself is a Kraken correlation. Now we have a daily Kraken correlation. See this with a PSP, which makes us go down to all the way to the 1 minute time frame, which is a microcycle. We have the confirmation here. We have the confirmation here. Our trade should be executing around this at the closing of this candle. Stop loss would be at this point, 47, and target would be at least 1:2, which is easily achievable, approximate 1.27. So after it reverses. So what I did, let me show you what mistake I did. I didn't place my trade in Dow because it was a 1 minute hidden SSMT, which I was not pretty confident about initially, but with this trade I get to know that it works. So let's go to the we have seen that we have a daily SSMT, right? And Nasdaq has, just a second, Nasdaq has done the SSMT as well. Now I have taken a trade in ES at that point. See, this is the high of London. It also did the same SSMT with YM. I have taken the trade in ES. I forgot that it has taken down. It has taken the high of the London session, which makes it a little bit bullish rather than YM was more bearish because it has the failure swing to the downside. So what happened in 1 minute? Since I was not sure about the hidden SSMT of 1 minute, I didn't place the trade in YM. Instead, I wait for this 1 minute macro cycle to get a proper sequential SMT by taking out the high of the previous session. Well, what I mean by that, let me show you. Going to the 1 minute again. All right. Well, this is the 1 minute session, this gray session, and the high of this session is this. And this is taken out by the next session 931. So when this happened, I thought we have a 2 cycle confirmation along with the PSP. So when this candle happened, and after this a red candle happened at 932, I took a trade in ES here at 932. The closing of this candle, I have taken this trade. Stop loss was above this candle, and my target was around at least 1:2. Okay, I saw a little bit profit and then it reverses. I forgot that I should have shorted YM, which is Dow, because it was more bearish, because daily cycle, the higher cycle, which is the daily cycle, has been a failure swing in YM, making it more bearish than any of these two, ES and NQ. So that was a stop loss trade yesterday for me. And then I wait again. I waited again for a next proper trade. Let me remove every drawing again. It's a little bit boring, but boring makes it more interesting. Only traders will understand what I mean by that. So the next session starts at 12 o'clock AM session, PM session, New York PM session. So what's the high of the New York AM session? This is the high of New York AM session. In ES, you will be see that this is the high of this, and but in Dow, what Dow has to offer. Let me remove quickly these drawings. Now, what is the high of New York AM session? New York AM session high is this. This is the high of New York AM session, which is directly taken out at 12 noon. See this candle? 12 noon. Now go to NQ. What is the 12 noon candle? This is green. Now what is the next candle? Dow 1215. It's a red candle. All right. See this candle 1215 red candle. Now go to NQ 1215 red candle, and now we have a green candle, which makes it a PSP. All right. So what we have is a Kraken correlation. First of all, 12 the daily SSMT. Daily SSMT. All right. We have a PSP, which makes it directly skip the 90-minute cycle. But there was 90-minute cycle SSMT as well. Wait, let me show you. You see this? Previous session high, next session high, taken down. If you see this, previous session high, next session high, taken down. So 12:15 candle, where was a 12:15 minute candle ends? It ends at 12:30 here. So I took a trade here. The stop loss was there, almost like 28-30 pips. I just took 1:1 and I closed the day. Reason, because it was quite late, and the problem with the futures trading, especially with Top Step, that it closes the trading 1 hour prior to actual 1 hour prior to the actual closing of the US market. So I took just 1 is to 1.2 and I close the trade here and see what happens afterwards. Just melt it. Even you can have 1 is to 2 in the same day, but there was not my concern because we were already running late in the day. It took me almost like half hour for me to get to my target. I took my entry here and I took my profit here around 2:30 US time. So this was a profitable trade and previous was a loss trade. So yeah, pretty much that. Thursday was basically no loss, no profit day because first trade was a loss trade and second trade was a profitable trade. Second trade was made more sense. Even the first trade was a little bit better. If I have taken the trade in the Dow, it would have been a easily profitable trade. Also, the very first trade, the news trade, the news has already told us that it was going to go up. Why it has told us? Because obviously two times SSMT. If there is a two times SSMT before the news will tend to go into the direction. Remember that. It is only for those who understand the quarterly theory. Okay, this is that is it for Thursday. We'll see you on Friday. Hi guys, let's discuss the trade about Friday. Okay, so let's do it quickly. So basically, this is Nasdaq. Let me just delete all the drawings fairly quickly. All right. So what do you see here? Okay, this is the London slope. I'm just marking the things quickly because it is for my own understanding. This is London's high. This is London's low. We always, since we remember, we always focus on the New York session. So we'll just mark the highs of London and the lows of London session. Similarly, let me just quickly delete this. 15 minute. All right, this is US 30. Okay, let's just quickly draw the lines of London's low. This is London's low. This is London's high. Okay, now let's go to 5 minute and see what's going on. On 5 minute, what do we see here? Okay, so let's focus on the Q3 quarter. Q3 starts from 9 to 10:30. Here on 5 minute time frame, in the 90-minute cycle, we can see we have a sequential SMT here with Nasdaq. And when you see this, we have a sequential SMT here. So since we have what 5 minute, 90-minute cycle sequential SMT, we need microcycle sequential SMT as well to confirm this. First of all, let's just see if there is any PSP we had. PSP, it broken upon like at 9:30. What's the 9:30 candle? All right, so we had a PSP. We didn't actually saw it properly. So we had 9:30 candle as red candle here and Dow, and 9:30 candle is what? It's a green candle here in Nasdaq. So we had news incoming around 10 o'clock, but at 9:40 we had made a red candle, and 9:40 we had made a red candle. We could have taken a trade around here. Simply mark stop loss as this and could go for 1 is to 2 easily. So that could be our trade. Since we had a PSP, we could have gone to the 1 minute time frame to see if there is any microcycle sequential SMT. And I think there was. Let me just go ahead and check it. Since only on the basis of PSP, we could have gone through. All right. How? Let me just show you 1 second quickly. So, which was the PSP candle? 9:30 was a PSP candle. Okay. Is that a TPD? Wait, let me see. Candle number 1, candle number 2, and candle number 3. 9:25, 9:30, 9:35. Let's see here. 9:25, 9:30, 9:35. All right. So we had this. We had the TPD around. Since we had the TPD, we had the PSP. We have two-stage confirmation. We could have gone through. We could have shorted the. We could have shorted the DAO around here and could have gone. Could have went for like 1:2, 1:3. All right. But what we did is we waited. But before I tell you the real trade, let me just confirm if there is any microcycle SMT available. Okay, let's go to 1 minute in Nasdaq as well. Okay, so 9:30 we had the sequential SMT on 5 minutes. Um, this orange and this green we have a sequential SMT. This orange and this green we had a sequential SMT. Hang on, let me just quickly mark this candle. The candle number 9. This is the candle 9:51 has did the sequential SMT on microcycle. Now see what is going on at 9:51 in Dow. See at around 9:51 Dow has already been much fallen. So if I would have waited for that 1 minute microcycle sequential SMT, I would have missed the entire move. Okay, so that's why sometimes what is best that if we have a PSP, just look for the TPD and go for it. All right. So keep that in mind. That is one good thing. But this is the trade which we haven't taken. Let's go down to the 15-minute time frame quickly. I waited because I knew the news was going to come. So let's wait for the news to deliver. So the news delivered. At this point, 10, 10 o'clock, the news delivered. And Dow has breached the London's low, creating a sequential SMT, the daily sequential SMT with Nasdaq, as well as that S&P. Okay, now we have this. We have Since we have a daily sequential SMT, we need 5 minute sequential SMT to confirm it. So to confirm the 5 minute sequential SMT, let me put it 5 minute as well. There is a very, very, very minute thing to notice here. Okay, this is quarter number Q3. What is the low of Q3? This is the low of Q3. And what is the did 10:30? Yeah, or did the Q4 breach the low of this one? No, it didn't. See, or in Nasdaq it didn't breach the low, but in Dow it did breach the low. Okay, what was the candle? Let me just confirm it. It's 10:25. Did candles 10:25 minute candle was the low was breached or not? It is. It was the perfect turtle soup. All right, you can see that. Okay. So since we have a sequential SMT, the daily sequential SMT here, and the 5 minute sequential SMT here. So we took a trade in Nasdaq exactly around here. Stop loss was exactly below this. I have taken just 1:1 since it was Friday, so I logged in the profits and went away. But it clearly gave a lot. 1:4. Easy. So Friday was good session. What we have learned from this session that if there is a proper two cycle SMT is there, then try to take at least 1:2 bare minimum, or just take an SL. That's it. It's as simple as that. So that was Friday, my friends, and it was a good day. Let's see you guys on Monday next week. Bye bye. Till then, see you.